You told them what happened, right? That it just happened to be women because they needed to rent out the place?
I don't think I told them that. I just told them to go stick it.
Okay.
I said, forget it. I'm not doing any of that, you know. And at that point, I had hair down to here, and I was, you know,
right.
I was a kind of hippie, and I was feeling like I didn't. And he was the establishment, and I just kind of went like that, you know. And he said, well, you know, you're going to be in deep trouble, and we're going to kick you all out if you don't do any of these things. I went back and I had a meeting of everybody in the house, and I said, you know, we're in trouble, I think, you know. We could get, you know, kicked out. There could be police involved, I don't know what, but we're going to make a stand here, you know. And then the following week he called me in again, and he said, you win. He said, it turns out that your house is private. You haven't broken any laws. We can't kick you out. And you know, there's nothing we can do. And I said, great. And he said, however, though we can't legally kick you out, we and the governor and the Board of Regents would like you to move along. And I said, what does that mean exactly? And he said, well, we want you to leave. We don't want you to be here next year when you come back, when school starts again. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, well, go to another school. And I said, do you mean transfer to another school? They said, yeah. I said, so you help me transfer to another school? And he said, well, we want you to leave. I said, well, I want to go to Yale. I had a 4-point average, and I was president of my fraternity.
Of course. Very prestigious fraternity.
And so it turned out that I made an application to Yale and ended up getting in. Thank you very much to University of California. So I transferred, and I left and went there and finished up the last 2 years there.
So that ended up being a good thing.
I think so, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
so then from there you studied at Yale. You did well there, I assume. It seems like you're a very studious person. But you also have this other side to you. Weren't you an alcoholic or got into drugs along the way?
You know, I never really, drugs never appealed to me.
Drugs never did?
Never smoked pot and never got into any drugs at all. My brothers were alcoholics and both died of alcoholism. As
what
a result,
ages?
My brother died 2 years ago. He was 62 when he died. My youngest older brother, my older brother, who was 74 when he died a year later. So in the last 5 or 6 years, I just decided that I'm not going to touch that stuff anymore because I know it runs in the family.
So you touched alcohol before, but not drugs?
Yeah, I didn't drink too much. I drank, you know, I was a social drinker, but I knew that it would probably catch up to me at some point in my life. And I knew, watching my brothers go downhill, I knew that if I didn't stop, I probably would go down the same road.
Were you close with your brothers?
Not really, but they were really horrible alcoholics. I mean, they were really alcoholics.
And your parents were not?
Yeah, they were. I mean, sure they were.
Okay, so that's where your
pretty much everybody.
Okay.
And, you know, the alcoholism in my family goes back generations. You know, they wouldn't have called themselves alcoholics. You know, I can look at it. I could say, yeah, sure, they drank too much. You know, I think.
But they were functioning.
Yeah.
Functioning alcoholics. Okay.
They weren't living in, you know,
Yeah.
in the street or anything like that. They had, you know, salaries and cars, and they looked fine from the outside. But, you know, I mean, that's most of the society is really like that. If you were to peel back the veil on pretty much everybody out there, they drink too much.